Hey, welcome to Sean's Boosted Garage. Last video, we disassembled this 475W transmission. This video, we're going to take all the sub-assemblies, disassemble them, clean them, inspect them for any damage, and maybe we can repair some of the damage that we find. All right, so first thing we're going to take apart is the pump. So you remove this spacer, pump spacer. And then we got these bolts here to take out. I got my parts washer here, so I'm just gonna throw everything in there and I can clean it up. Take the seal out. Here's the gears. You take the gears out. You just want to check all the surfaces, the gears, all that for wear. I mean, things bathed in oil all the time. It'd be unusual, I think, to see something worn in it unless unless some debris went through the pump. But anyways, so far it seems to be good. I'm just checking right here for some wear. I can see some light scuffing, but I don't see anything really major wrong there. Now to get these O-rings out, you just need a pick of some sort. That's not, shouldn't be difficult. Pull that out. And you can see it's, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's a square cut seal. So. And get the seal out. New lip seal. There'll be a new lip seal in the kit. So, you see, notice there's a bushing here too. I don't see anything wrong with the bushing. I haven't been able to find any information online yet that tells you what these bushing clearances should be. So, I mean, some people I think just replace whatever ones they can. I'll see what comes in the kit. Okay, well, that's the pump all cleaned up. Let's give it a... Give it a blowout with some air. And yep, as I said, now I don't see anything abnormal. Everything looks pretty good. Get these rings off here. These two here are more difficult. They got like a hook connection. They kind of hook together like this. So see if I can get it. There we go. There. All right, get that off. Grooves all look to be good. Nothing abnormal that I can tell there. There's bushings in here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to change all these bushings or not. I don't have all the tools to do that with, and it'd be nice to know what the clearances are supposed to be, because I could just measure them and see what's what. But yep, all looks good. Splines look good. From what I can tell, the bushing looks good. Doesn't see anything abnormally worn on it. So yeah, it should be good there. So that's it for the oil pump. We'll come back here when I get the next part. Next up is the intermediate clutch. Clutch cylinder, I think they call it. Intermediate clutch cylinder. I got the Ford manual here that I'm going by because, like I said, I've never done this before. So, but you usually can't go wrong if you got a manual to go by. So we'll take this apart. This has got 3 clutches in it, and I think a wave washer or spring in the bottom of it. Now, so as you can see here now, there's a snap ring right here. So I'm just going to get in there with the screwdriver and pry that snap ring out just like that. And then you generally just walk it around, and yeah, there you go, out she comes. So anyways, you just pull. You can pull it or flip it upside down. And out comes your clutches. So these are all in good shape. I'm not really expecting anything to be anything wrong with this transmission, honestly. I'm really just taking it apart so I can upgrade it. But hey, it's a good experience to do, and you know, if I find something wrong, well, even better. We can fix it, and we'll be on our way. So this is the pressure plate, I think is what they call it. It all looks good and all that. Now, there's another snap ring down here. Another snap ring down here, same deal. Just get your screwdriver in, pry it out, and we'll get this spring. I think it's a spring is what it is, and then underneath that is the piston. So when there's fluid in there, the piston pressure, the fluid pushes against the piston, which kind of squeezes this sandwich together and causes it to engage. Now, all right, got that one out, and you can see it's got a wave to it. This is like a bevel washer, so it would act like a spring also. And then this ring here. So now you can see in the bottom is just the piston. So let's see if I can get that out. Try some air pressure. There we go. So see that hole right there? That's obviously where the hydraulic pressure enters in. So I just put some air in there, and it popped this piston right out for me. So square O-ring in it again. And I was wondering where this ring goes. I guess it sits right in there. All right. Same thing, just get a pick. Get in there and get that out. another square cut ring. You'll hear people talk about mechanical diode or a sprag. That's what this is. This is a mechanical diode. I think before they had the mechanical diode, it would be a sprag. So anyway, we're going to take that off too. There's a snap ring right here. I think the same deal. You can just get your screwdriver behind it, get it started. Sort of just gently work it around until you get it out. There we go. So I had to use another, it's a little awl here, but basically had to use one end to hold against that snap ring, and then use the other one to get it out. So now you should be able to just walk it out. So you don't want to, when you're trying to get these out, you don't want to, like, you know, yank right on it, because you can end up bending it. And I'm sure you can straighten it back out, but why bother? So thing with these mechanical diodes is they rotate one way and lock the other way. Same deal, I can tell so far. Get it cleaned up and we'll have a little better look at it. So anyways, there's the Belleville washer. It's nothing wrong with it. It's not even a mark on it. So it's in good shape. Okay, mechanical diode. We're gonna clean this up. Just to mention, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you want to do a really good job of cleaning all this stuff up. There's like a black coating inside here, and it's just, I think it's just from the oil going through the transmission and whatever wears happened along the way to the clutches, probably carried it through the transmission. So I actually got to use this kind of stiffer brush to get it off, but make sure you get all that stuff out if you can. All right, there's that all clean, as best I can anyways. That's it really. I guess we'll clean up these Yep. Don't see any issues here. So I'll finish blowing the stuff off, and we'll stack it on our table here with all our parts, and move on to the next piece. All right. Next, we got the forward clutch. That's for that. Now, same deal as the other one. There's a little snap ring here. Just gonna pry that out. It comes out very easily. Get rid of this towel here for now. So, same deal. Pressure plate, and all the frictions look good, like really good. All the steels look good. I could have really just ran this transmission the way it was. Another kind of one of these wavy washers. So my understanding of these wave washers is when you put it into gear, or if the car is doing like downshifting, this sort of absorbs that engagement and kind of softens it out for you, so it's not so harsh. So one of the things to do is when you want to upgrade these cars is you put, upgrade these transmissions, is you put more clutches in. So right now this one has 5. So I think with this one we put in 6, add 1 more. So to do that, some guys get rid of this thing to get rid of that. So I'm going to do that because ultimately I want a built transmission. Not that, like I've said before, not that my car makes 700 horsepower, but someday maybe it will, and I'd rather just have it capable now as is. Whether you can see it or not, but there's a washer here and a big heavy spring underneath it, so I've got to get something to compress this down, get that snap ring out and let that go, and then the piston will come out. So, have to figure out how I'm going to do that. Okay, I'll be back once I figure something out. All right, this is what I come up with. I'm just using the tail housing as a stand, but I'm going to have to go over to a buddy's house with a press. But what you can use, all this is a cheap bearing puller kit that I got from Princess Auto. If you're in the US, Harbor Freight, I'm sure they sell the same thing. And basically, I just put 2 of these arms in there, tighten the nuts down, set it to the width of that ring there, and so it still allows you to press down and get at that snap ring. So anyways, I'll hopefully my buddy's home and we'll go over there and we'll turn the camera back on and we'll see how this works. It should be fine, really. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. Okay, just as promised, I'm over here at my buddy Steve's house. So in order to get this forward drum apart, we got to put pressure down on this. You see this big spring here, so we got to put some pressure down on it. All right, so we got pressure on it. There's lots of space there between the snap ring, and this is sort of a sketchy way of doing this, but if you watch enough of my videos, you know I just do what I can with what I got. Here we go. Snap ring's out. And we're going to release the pressure slowly. Don't want any big surprises. Up it comes.
Well, that spring was compressed.
Yeah. There we go. Out comes the spring. I'll pull this out. Now I can get the this piston out. And there you go. So as I said before, this piston goes in. The hydraulic fluid comes in behind this piston, and when the pressure comes on it, the stack of clutches that are in here and the steel plates that are in here, it squishes those together and they engage, and it gives you whatever gear you selected.
So you got some O-rings there. If those O-rings are bad, you wouldn't build the pressure and you burn your clutches out,
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, so a standard rebuild kit, you're gonna get all this stuff anyways. They're all square cut O-rings. I don't know if I can get this out or not, but anyways, just like the other piston I showed you earlier, it's all just square cut O-rings. You pull those out, clean up everything really good, and that's it. So I'll head back to my house. I'll get this cleaned up, and we'll continue on with the disassembly of all the sub-assemblies, and then we'll order parts once we figure out what's bad and what isn't, and go from there. Okay, so back at the shop. My buddy Steve there, if you're looking for another YouTube channel, watch DIY Guy 123, and he just does stuff around the house and always looking for cheap ways to do things, or yeah, just kind of working on a budget, being frugal, and just trying to figure out things for yourself. So, let's look for my pick. Get these O-rings out. There's that one, outer and an inner. Get those out of the way, and yeah, now it's just more cleaning. There's kind of a good example, if you can see it or not, but there's that black kind of material or black goo that's on everything. So just make sure you get that all cleaned off really well. So I'll clean these parts up, and then we'll be back, and I'll bring over the next piece. Actually, before I go, I should mention to you too, like, when you're looking at any of these mechanical pieces, like, you get splines here, you want to make sure nothing's stripped. You got these sealing surfaces here, you gotta be really careful. You don't want to get a scratch on this, especially a scratch like in a vertical plane, because it's just going to cause a leak, and I don't think there's anything you can do about that. If you put a big scratch there, I think you have to buy a whole new shaft. And then inside, you want to look inside. Look for anything obvious, like anything cracked. Everything looks good here, really. So that's good. And this piston, not much wrong to go there. Spring's in good shape. And this I don't know, retainer, whatever you want to call it, and the snap ring. So anyways, back to cleaning up, and we'll be back. All right, next up is the sun shell. So this does have some wear, and it's typical from kind of what I've been reading and understanding, but you see right there, I don't know if you can see that or not, all these here, all have got a little indentation there. That is from where this engages in here. And I guess with over time, it'll make some wear in there. So you can replace this. Some people said don't worry about it, just kind of file off any burrs and send it. Because realistically, like, it might be worn like a 1/16 of an inch or something, if that, maybe a 32nd. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'll take a file and just kind of dress those up a little better. There's a burr on the backside that you can feel. So this part, I think it's like $100 US. I'm in Canada, so you might as well add another 30%, and then shipping, and like it'd be well into $150 or $170 before I got that here. So I'm just going to I'm gonna fix it up. Worst comes to worst, I might be able to do a little welding to it, but it's really not bad. So same deal with this too. There's bushings inside, and I mean, they all look good. I can't measure it for clearance, because I don't know what the clearance is supposed to be. So I don't know. I have to try to figure that out. Maybe somebody's got a spec somewhere, but I haven't been able to find anything. I asked some people too that maybe they would know, but they can't seem. They don't know. They don't know where to find it either. So I guess if you just don't see anything real obviously wrong with it, then you can probably let it go. But there's some bushings that you have to be careful of, though, because they can cause, if the bushings, like say the tail shaft bushing and I think the center support bushing, I think it's called. If those get, if they get too sloppy, then they can cause wear on the case, and then you're into getting the case machined and maybe sleeved, or maybe you got to get a whole new case depending on how bad it is. So anyway, so I guess it's just another one of those experience things, but hopefully, I think we're okay here anyways with what we got, but I'll give these a little file too and come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I filed up all those edges. I didn't make them perfect. I just kind of took off a minimum. Then I took a little round file and sort of re-radius those corners there. And then want to leave a sharp edge that could, or sharp corner that could turn into a crack later on. So anyways, I think it's gonna be all right. Just didn't want to spend, 170 or 180 bucks for something that really just need a little attention. Yeah, anyway, so that's those parts all cleaned up. That's the sun gear, and it's all back together. So we'll put this on the bench, and then we'll move on to something else. All right, here we got the planetary assembly, planetary support. I think some people call it the center support. Just looking over here, and I'm just noticing, I don't know if you can see that or not, it's got some marks in it. I'm gonna ask some people if that's a big deal or not. But the rest of it seems to be good. The bushing seems to be good. And as far as the planetary goes, I looked over this before. It all seems to be in good shape. This is a 4R75W, so it's welded here, where I think some other earlier versions might be riveted together, like through right here, I think. Anyways, this is welded. So the 4R75W planetary gear setup is supposed to be the tougher version for all these 4R series transmissions. So, but yeah, the bushing looks good. Now I did before check the clearance here. There is some up and down movement, so if you get a feeler gauge and stick it in there between the, I'll hold this up so you can see it. You stick it in between the bottom of the gear, and if you look really closely in there, there's a bushing, or yeah, I guess a bushing or a spacer or something there. Put it in between that. So I got about 25 thou clearance. And I talked to someone online, and they said they thought they'd heard that 30 thou was kind of, 30 thou or less is kind of where it should be. So yeah, so we got 25, so I think we're good. And there's a bearing inside here down at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but check that. It moves well. There's no marks in it. It's not rough feeling, anything like that. So should be good. So, when you look at these planetaries, look for any kind of side to side play, and then up and down. You're gonna have a little bit, but you shouldn't really have any side to side play, but you are gonna have some up and down. And just check them all out. Make sure there's nothing excessive going on compared to whatever else you got. So I'll clean these few parts up, but I mean, there's nothing really you can do with this planetary. Like if it's damaged, or you got one of these gears that are bad or a lot of play, I think you really got to just buy a whole new planetary system, or whole new planetary assembly. Because I don't think there's really anything you can do on your own. So anyways, I'll give this a bath in Varsol, clean it all up. Same with this too. And like I said, I got to find out about this bit of wear I see right here. I mean, there's a lot of meat there. It's probably not a big deal, but I'll just ask some people and see what they think. Okay, if you're playing around with this mechanical diode and one of these fall out, one of these rollers fall out, no big deal. Whoops. Just throw it on the floor and never find it again. No, seriously, they just pop back in. Another one here to go in. I gotta find out where it's missing from. Right here. There, that's it. Okay, so getting this back together, this here, it's a little tricky, and I'm probably not going to bother with it right now, but the gist of it is, I did get it back in the other day, is to rotate it counterclockwise as you're pushing down. And anyways, I'll worry about that when it comes time to put the transmission back together, because I mean, really should just lube it up and whatnot. So all right, we'll put this back on the bench, grab the next piece. All right, this is the direct clutch. This is one of the other things that'll get modified is I'll put an extra clutch in this. Right now it has 6, I believe. There's a bearing here I'm trying to get off. Okay. Oh, I think I need my buddy's press again. This is essentially the same setup as we did with the forward drum. I'm just going to put a little pressure on the press, push down this ring here. There's a snap ring there that comes out, and then same deal. There's going to be a little bit of spring pressure there. These springs are different than what was on the forward drum, so it shouldn't take much force, and we'll get that snap ring off and get this apart. Give this a little bump, and I think off comes the snap ring. You see it's out there, and we'll loosen off the press. We're gonna go slow. There you go. That's it. Off this comes. You're left with the piston again, and just the same set as the other day, except there's no inner O-ring in this one for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it doesn't. Oh, because there's an O-ring down in here. So yeah. Anyways, so now we can move forward again. Okay, I just got back from my buddy Steve's house. So here's the old direct drum, and the piston was in there. This was on top of the piston. These rings fit over those dimples, and you got the snap ring. So just about the same deal as the last forward drum. Except this seals, this rubber seal here is a little different, I think, than the other ones. Let me see. Nope, I guess it's the same. So these square cut seals, I guess, will be directional. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a bit of a lip there. So that lip will have to go down. The idea is when the pressure is below the piston, the fluid's going to go up in that. The fluid's going to go up in that groove right there, and it's going to force it out against the wall of the direct drum, which is going to help it seal. So, anyways, there's nothing really to this. This is already clean. I cleaned these up pretty quick. This does have a check ball in it, and so did the forward drum also has a check ball in it. Just make sure that it's loose and you can hear it rattling. So, and you probably noticed all this video, I've been trying all kinds of different camera angles. Let me know what you think. From what I can tell, I think this is probably the best one as far as being able to see what's going on. So maybe just let me know what you think. I think, like I said, if this is the better one, then this is what I'll do when I'm putting all these segments back together, so you can see what's going on. And here's just an example of, remember those rings I told you that hook together like this? This is all they are. They just hook like that. So when you want to take them apart, you sort of spread them like that. Anyways, these here all look in good shape. Like none of the steels are burned. Nothing. Clutches look good. I could essentially just I think you could put this transmission back together the way it is, and it would run no problem. From what I can tell, anyways. But like I said, I'm gonna put some better friction plates in it. Ray Bestis makes I think they call stage 1, and so I'm gonna put those in plus one extra disc or clutch disc or whatever. So we'll see how to do that. Might have to machine this down some. This is the pressure plate. But anyways, and this piece here, this is the inner hub. So it goes in the center of the direct drum like this, but it also engages. Here, I'll grab that part here. But these splines engage with the bottom of the planetary, so that's how that and the direct drum lock together. The direct drum will go like up through like that. I actually bought a new, just remind myself here, I actually bought a new direct drum. So all I really gotta do is just get this apart, take the parts out. So one of the things with this direct drum, and from everything I've read and seen, you see I got some play right here, and you don't want that. So you get yourself a new drum, and all that play is gone. Because if you put it back together like this, eventually that's going to strip out on you. One of the upgrades, this is what they call the, I think some people call it the intermediate shaft, but I think it's more recognizable as a stub shaft. But anyways, this is usually a failure point in these 700R transmissions, especially if you start going to a higher horsepower. So I'm going to be upgrading this, putting in a 1-beta 300M material. So it should be more than adequate for what I'm trying to get out of it. So yeah, anyways, there's the new drum, and I'm sure with the new stub shaft it'll probably fit even better there, but there's very little, if any, slop there right now. And this here is essentially, what do you call this? Output shaft and direct clutch cylinder. So your planetary goes in here. So all the, let me grab that planetary again. All these gears here mesh in here. And the direct clutch goes in there, and then that's how that whole assembly goes together. There's not much to this. There's nothing really beat up about it. There is some play there. There's some play in the splines, and there's also let's pop this snap ring out, see what we got. There we go. That comes out. So we're just checking in here. Look at all the gears. There's like nowhere there at all. There's nothing worn there either. Kind of where this output shaft engages there. You can see how these teeth here engage the drum right here, but there's no shiny spots that I can tell. I think a shiny spot would indicate kind of where maybe it was starting to wear, but I don't see anything there. So I'd say we're good there. That's it. So let's get my snap ring pliers, get the snap ring off, and we'll take this hub off. Like I said, there's some play there, but I don't know if that's excessive or that's just normal. So we'll get it off and see if looks like there's anything crazy going on there. I think it's these sealing rings. They sort of stick out into the, yeah, that's what's going on. There. That's all it was. These sealing rings right here, they move around inside the groove. So all I did was just pull up, put pressure on it, and it took a screwdriver and sort of pushed that in to collapse it some, and came right off. So, but anyways, Don't see any anything worn crazy, so. All right, well, that's about it. There's a few, there's an O-ring there and these 3 seals here and a couple of these Teflon seals here that I got to get off. But besides that, that's pretty much the whole. That's the disassembly of the hard parts inside the transmission. The one last thing I got to do is have a look at the valve body. There's a couple valves in there that you got to look out for. Okay, this is the valve body. I 100% have never touched one of these before. So, $10mm, a little quarter drive adapter. So I'm gonna take all these screws out, all these bolts. Got a little container here, throw them all in. You'll notice that 2 of these are longer, and they're for alignment to the transmission. All right. If you ever built in a garage, you build a bench, make it really big. Mine is not big enough. So, guess there's nothing really to see over here. Let's see the other side. Much oil. Now these plates here, you can't screw them up how they go back on because there's only the way they're bolted. The way they're bolted, they'll only go on one way. So, one last screw here. Off comes this. So, I did buy an upgraded plate for this. I bought the Superior Tough Plate. So, it's thicker because if you can make that out right there, but there's a little dimple, and this is what hits it, this here. And I don't know if you can make it out, but around that dimple is a bunch of little small cracks, little spider cracks. So I guess what can happen over time is that it'll either start leaking through there, or it'll cause some cross leaking in the valve body itself. So so I bought the Superior Tough Plate. It's thicker, and I think it also comes with a little adapter piece that you set right on top of that, section, and it helps to reinforce it as well. So now take out all my oil. I'm just gonna dump it in my. bolts section. Now there were some balls that fell out there just fine. They all got captured. I didn't count when I was taking them out, but well. That screen there was all jammed up in there. I wonder what happened there. I better take these solenoid valves out. Go. All right. More clean to do yet. There's lots of that gunk in the passages there, but that's fine. We can clean it out later. So, they mention about a little screwdriver. So they mentioned about this pressure regulator valves right here. It should move freely, and it does. Whew, thought I lost it. That went flying. There we go. I don't see any wear marks on this. So, I'll put that back in there. There's a little bit. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a little rub spot right there. That's from what I've watched and read, that's typical for these. So you can get a Sonax makes an upgraded pressure regulator valve. And so I may get that. The only thing is they talk about getting a resizing tool that you basically drives into the port here that came out of and cleans up any kind of burrs that might be in there, because you don't want this valve sticking, so they say. So might have to get that. The other thing with the Sonax valve too is it has like 3 or 4 grooves right along here, and it allows the hydraulic pressure to get all the way around the cylinder and balances it, because what happens is that there's pressure load on one side of this, but not on the other. So it kind of forces it down, I think is how it goes, and forces it to rub against there. But if you have the grooves, then the grooves allow basically like a hydraulic wedge all the way around it, so it won't wear like that. I don't see any, I can't show you guys, I can hardly see it myself, but I don't see, oh wait, yes I do. Yeah. Definitely see some rub marks in there, so I guess I should probably get that tool. Maybe I'll go to a transmission shop close to me. Maybe they have that tool and they can ream that. It's not really a ream. It's just a resizing tool. And it's just, I think it's a really close fit. And from what I've seen, you put lots of lube and hammer it in and pull it out. And if there's any high spots in there, it just shaves those off. So, so I may go see that, because I hate buying tools. I'm just, something like this, just like a one-time use, I guess, unless I somehow get into rebuilding transmissions, which I don't think so. I got a full-time job. Yeah, so anyways, there's a few more valves around here, and you just want to make sure that they all move nice and smoothly. That one does. And that one does. And that one does, and that one does. That one does. That one does. That one does. Even the one I took out works smoothly. So I don't know, we'll see. I may just get the valve for now, and as long as it moves in there, if it moves in there slowly, or sorry, if it moves smoothly through there, then I don't see a reason why I gotta mess with the hole. But yeah. Anyways, I think this is kind of it for not a lot to the valve body. I was just kind of checking out those valves, make sure they work, and then I was you know, obviously wondering about this pressure regulating valve. So I'll probably add that to my list. But other than that, I think this is gonna be, I'm hoping it's gonna be a straightforward build. Like I said, I didn't really see anything wrong. Just that sun gear had a little bit of wear there that I filed out, and the center support, it's got some wear in that. So I'm gonna take some pictures and post that to the Facebook page, Dan Gilsdorf, his Facebook page, the AOD 4R70W and 4R75W. I think if you put all four of those things in, the page will come up. And there was lots of people on there willing to help you out. I know I asked lots of questions, and so far no one's said that's a stupid question. So So yeah, anyways, I guess that's it for the disassembly and checking over parts. Everything looks pretty good, honestly. The transmission, really, it's in pretty good shape. And I probably could have ran it as is, but like I said, I want to do some upgrades because at some point I'm going to try to make some pretty good power with my car. Maybe I will be up around the 600 or 700 horsepower range. I'm not there yet, but anyways, I don't want to have to worry about the transmission, at least not for a little while, and learn how to do this. Next time, if I end up having to take it apart because something's broken, well, it won't be a big deal. I'll know how to do it. So anyways, thanks for watching. There's more to come yet. I got to order parts still, so I got to kind of wait till the new year for that. But once the parts get here, then we'll start putting it back together. And yeah, and then I'll take you through the removal. I'm not going to show you how to remove the other transmission. There's lots of videos on that. And I'll get that out, and then I'll show you what's involved with installing the automatic in. You'll have to change pedals. I got a quick 4 standalone controller for the transmission. Show you how to wire that all up. So it's going to be multi-parts for sure. So anyways, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next video. Thanks. Bye.